Right, problem 26 says if 4 times the quantity x minus 2 equals 8x, what is the value of 2x plus 3? So this is basically a two-parter question. We first of all are going to use the first part of the problem to figure out what x equals, and then when we're done, we will answer the question. So this is our first part and our second part. So our first part, we're simply going to solve that equation. 4 times the quantity x minus 2 equals 8x. The first thing that we want to do is get rid of those parentheses, whether you draw an area model or your arrows. We're going to get 4x minus 8 is equal to 8x. And then from here, if you want to draw your mobile balance, go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides to get my x's together. So I'm going to get negative 8 is equal to 4x. And then from here, to solve for x, we know we need to divide both sides by 4. So x is going to equal negative 2. Okay, so that was just the first part of the problem. What it asked us to do was find the value of 2x plus 3. But now we know what x is, we can plug in negative 2, which is our x, into that equation. So we're going to have 2 times negative 2 plus 3. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, and negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So my answer for that problem, the final answer, will be negative 1. Right, 27 says to solve for x. 2x plus 5 plus 8x plus 7 is equal to 180. All right, if you drew a mobile balance for this one, it would probably be a little bit easier to see what's going to combine. But since the 2x and the 8x are both on the same side, if I were to draw that mobile balance, I would end up getting 10 x's. And then the 5 and the 7, since they're both on the same side, we can go ahead and put those together, and they will give me 12. And then this is going to equal 180. And now from here, if I'm solving for x, I know that I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. So I will get 10x is equal to 168. And then to finish it, we will divide both sides by 10. It will come up to be a decimal. That's no problem, though we will end up getting 16.8 if you do that division. Okay, problem 28 says to solve and graph. So the first thing that I know that I'm going to do, just like a normal equation, if you just want to draw a line or something like that, pretend like it says equals. I first of all want to get rid of this minus 2, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I will get negative 3x is greater than or equal to 12. And then to solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by negative 3. And when I do that, I will get x. 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. And since I divided by a negative, I need to switch the way that my inequality is going. So that's my solving part. And then graphing, I will put negative 4 on the number line. I'll put another couple numbers on each side. If the equation does equal with that line underneath, we know we're going to get to put a closed circle, and less than would be all the numbers to the left of negative 4. Right, 29, solve and graph. 4x plus 3 is less than or equal to 11, or 5x minus 4 is greater than 16. So this is when I just like to draw my little squiggly. We're going to solve these two problems as they are totally separate problems. Okay, the first on the left side, to get rid of the plus 3, I'll subtract 3 from both sides. So I'll get 4x is less than or equal to 8. And then from here, I'll just divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to get x is less than or equal to 2. Bring down my word or, and then I'm just going to solve the right side as if it were the problem by itself. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So I will get 5x is greater than 20. I'll then divide both sides by 5, and I'll get x is greater than 4. So this is my solving part of the answer. And then my graphing, I'll put 2 on my number line, and 4, I'll put 3 in the middle. I'm going to have an open circle at 4 pointing to the right, and I will have a closed circle at 2 because that line underneath the 2, which means we get to include it, and then that would be my problem. Okay, 30, solve and graph once again. Negative 13 is less than or equal to 4x plus 7, which is less than 15. This is going to be a connected problem because I'm looking for x being between two values. I like to draw lines down the middle. And then remember, our goal is to get this inside here just to be x. So the first thing that I'm going to have to do is subtract 7. But I have to subtract it in 3 different places. Negative 3 minus 7 will be negative 20. I'm left with 4x in the middle. 15 minus 7 is 8. Then to solve for x, I will divide all 3 parts by 4. Negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5. The middle will just be x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. I did not divide by a negative, so I do not need to switch the sign, but I just need to bring them down to my answer. So this is the solving part of the answer. And then the graphing, negative 5, 2, I think I'll put 0 in the middle. Because there's no equal sign on the inequality by 2, I'm going to do an open circle. And negative 5 will get a closed circle. And basically this is saying that x is somewhere between negative 5 and 2. So I will connect, and that's where my answer would be, somewhere in there. All right, 31 says to solve for x, we have 2xt equal m. So I'm going to circle my x, and hopefully you can see. I do not want my 2 and my t, and they're both multiplied by x. So to get rid of them, we'll divide both sides by the 2t. So when I do that, I'll just be left with x is equal to m divided by 2t. And then that would be my answer. So there we go.